Hi, I am Rebecca, and this is Aaliyah. We are with Inland Empire Couples Counseling, and we're talking today about how to be successful in online couples counseling. We have had lots of experience doing that in the last year, and have some tips for people on how to make it a great experience so that your online couples counseling sessions are just as effective as if you were doing them in person. So, to start out, well, you have to find a therapist.
Yes. So one tip I love for couples to do is collaborate with each other, right? Ask each other what you guys are looking for in therapists, whether it's based off of therapeutic approach, whether it's based off of gender, right? What is it that you guys are looking for? So you guys both feel comfortable with the therapist you find. And it's very empowering to do it together, right? And it helps show and demonstrate that even prior to session, you can use these skills to help make big decisions and work together and be the team that you can be.
Right. And we were just talking before we started this about how important it is to have a good fit between the therapist and the client. And that's extra important in couples therapy because you have two people who both have to have a good personality fit with the therapist. You want to make sure you pick somebody that both of you feel confident, can help you, has the right, skills and experience to meet your needs. And then
Absolutely.
once you have found a therapist, you have to think about where you're going to do your sessions when you're doing them online.
Yes. So, in person, obviously you go to the office, and I promise you it's not like you lay on a couch like they show you in the movies, but normally they're nice,
Not like that.
comfortable. It's not like that at all. But nice, warm environment, safe. They're out of your comfort zone. You don't have to worry about people listening in. So they have all these extra protective factors, right? Sound machines, all these kind of things. But in your home, you don't, right? So we want to make sure
Mhm.
that you find something that you feel comfortable in, whether it's what you're sitting in, right? Your chair, you're going to be there for an hour and a half or so if you're doing couples, right? So we want you to be comfortable. We want to make sure that you feel that you can open up. We want to try to limit it to make sure you can have as limited amount of distractions. Like, so if you have kids, plan accordingly
Right.
around, like, maybe doing it when they're at school or at a friend's, or if you get someone to come over for an hour. Because while it's something that may be a little uncomfortable at first, it can be a great benefit, right? Being in the comfort of your home. Like, this is where we live. Like, this is where I feel most safe. And that can be a
Mhm.
great benefit of doing online therapy, because honestly, you can be in your pajamas and no one will probably know, right? Like, you can be probably the most comfortable as you can be. The biggest tip though is that I want you to make sure that you feel that your confidentiality is safe, that you can open up and you can talk without family members, without friends or roommates overhearing kind of your vulnerability.
Right. Because if those other people are around, you might not be as open with your therapist, and
Yeah,
then your sessions will be less effective.
absolutely.
Yeah. Our next suggestion is to come with an open mind, ready to receive.
Yes. So this is going to be a new experience for a lot of people. It's their first time in therapy or first time in couples therapy. So come open, come willing, come with the mindset of I want to find solutions. I want to find answers. I want to seek these things, whatever answer that may be, right? We don't know until we go on that journey. So that's what we mean when we say, like, be open and be able to receive any and everything that may come your way.
Right. Right. Because if you go in with the expectation that like nothing's going to change, there's no hope here, or maybe I don't need to change at all and it's just the other person,
Mhm.
um, it will be harder than it needs to be. But if you can have that attitude of being willing to learn, being open to receive whatever feedback you get or suggestions from the therapist, you will you'll see the changes faster and your therapy sessions will be more effective if
Mhm.
you're open to the process.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then of course, for this to work, you have to be honest with yourself
Hmm.
and with your partner and their therapist too.
Absolutely. Because you you want to be able to be your true self. And sometimes we may not be able to do that in our day-to-day life, but hopefully with this safe environment that you're creating, doing your online therapy in the comfort of your home, right? You feel safe and you can be vulnerable and honest, right? And then understanding. And what we mean by that is understanding, one, finding some understanding of yourself, but in also finding some understanding of your partner, right? Like really developing that empathy, really. And just because you understand don't mean necessarily you have to agree, but you can at least have that, just that empathy towards each other. And by building that empathy towards each other, your conversations will look different, right? If you're going in with, I want you to be honest with me, and I want to be open, and I want to try to understand where you're coming from, that's a completely different conversation than what's wrong with you, or
Right. I'm really glad you made that distinction between understanding and agreeing. Because for the success of your relationship, you need to be open to understanding your partner, what they're trying to communicate to you, how they're feeling, their perspective on things. And that's not the same thing as you agree with their perspective, or you share the perspective, or you think, you exactly agree on all the things that need to change. But being willing to understand things from their point of view is so key. And that's not all that therapy will do, but if you can come in with that attitude, you will be more successful in your therapy sessions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And another thing to help you be successful in your online couples counseling sessions is to be consistent and ready to do some work.
And consistent means showing up for each other, right? We're talking about couples therapy here. Like, if we're going through a difficult time, maybe a transition, maybe conflict is high, but we are still showing up for each other. And that alone can be so empowering to say, we're talking about some heavy stuff. It gets really heavy and maybe it gets a little heated, but we still continue to show up. So that alone speaks volume to each other as a couple. And but also it helps with the consistency of therapy, and just kind of the frequency of it has so many benefits of it in itself. It's like every week we're improving, we're growing, we're learning, we're connecting, and you'll be able to kind of have those small wins, which can be so powerful, and especially if you've been in a hard place for a while, when you feel like you've only been taking losses.
Right. I think the consistency of the therapy is important also, because I know that, we see these patterns when people come in for couples therapy, that sometimes when stuff gets hard, they'll stop coming, which then your therapy can't work for you if you're not coming when the relationship is at its hardest. That's when we want you to come in so that we can help. And then there are other people who will not come to sessions because they're trying to avoid something, or maybe we think that, well, we only need to come when we're having a problem. But there's a lot that if you're consistent in your couples therapy sessions, like there's a lot of work that we can do when you're having a good week to help move you forward and closer to your goals. So, and even work to prevent the problems from happening. So like your consistency in showing up, whether you had a good week or a bad week, is so important for your therapy to be successful, so that you don't have to be in as many sessions long term.
And the ready to work piece, right? Like ready to work in between sessions. Like, to be honest, you're most likely, for most people, are going to see their therapist once a week, right? For maybe about an hour and a half. Out of all them hours in a week, you're going to be doing some therapeutic work for an hour and a half. So for you to to get the best results, and for you to be successful in therapies, do the work outside of session. Do the homework, have the conversation, right? Try it. See what's working. Try out the tools that you are gaining, right? If you're developing some communication skills tools, like try them out. Practice your I statements, practice turning in, right? Like use the tools. So then when you come to session, you're going to be like, Aliah, that didn't work. Okay, now we can troubleshoot it. Now we can problem solve it. Now we can see, like, maybe it's not a good fit, or maybe we can tweak it to make it better, right? But the only way you can do that and receive feedback from the therapist is doing the work outside of session and connecting with your partner and putting that effort outside of session.
Absolutely. And if your therapist recommends that you, like, if we give you homework, if we recommend a book or some podcasts or something, like, read the book, do the things. Like we can tell a difference in how quickly you progress. The couples who are willing to do the work in between the sessions get better faster.
Mhm.
It's just true. That's just how it works.
It is. It is, right? I mean, think about it like physical health, right? Like if you go to the gym and you're doing all the work, you're eating right, you're doing all the work, you're going to see the results faster. But if you're still eating bad and maybe going to the gym once a week for an hour and a half, are you going to progress as fast as you would like? And the
Right.
answer is no, right? So the same thing with your mental health and the same thing with working as a couple and improving your relationship is invest that time and energy because obviously it's important, right? Obviously it means something. You're seeking help because you want help. So receive it.
Yeah. I just thought of one more thing that we didn't talk about in preparation here,
Uh-huh.
specific to online couples counseling is, we were talking about having a safe, comfortable place. When we're doing stuff online, you and your partner could log in separately. So the three of you are in three different locations, the two people in the couple and the therapist. And we recommend, if at all possible, for you and your partner to be physically in the same place
Mm-hmm.
so that you can have that experience of touch, of feeling the other person's energy. If it gets hard, maybe even being able to give and receive some support from each other. It doesn't have to be that way, but it's just an extra little tip that if it's possible, schedule your sessions at a time where you both can be physically together and you probably will have a better result.
Mm-hmm. Yes, completely agree.
Any Okay, good. Any last thoughts on how to be successful in online couples counseling?
Just get time to get started, right? Reach out, do your research, find your therapist, contact some people to see if they have any recommendations, right, for people, and don't wait until the end where you're like, right, we're at the end to get help. You can be in the healthiest state in your relationship and still grow, right? And so
Mhm.
definitely want to break that stigma of we only go when it's bad. We can definitely go when it's good and
Right,
learn tools to help maintain the good years to come. So just get started.
absolutely. And if anyone watching this is interested in working with one of our therapists or you want to get to know us a little bit, you can head over to our website at iecouplescounseling.com and read the bios of the therapists that we have in the office now and set up a time for a free phone consultation to find out if working together with us would be the right fit for you.